No Filipino company has that technical capability. Is that correct?
The expertise in the transmission business, as specifically stated by EPIRA, no, Mr. Chair, because the expertise in the transmission business was in the form of Transco, and it's not being privatized. It's the concessionaire or the future operator of the transmission business.
So that's why in the terms of reference of your bidding, you required a technical expertise coming from another country. Is that correct?
Based on the, Mr. Chair, based on the requirements, Mr. Chair, the natural technical experts would be coming outside of the country, Mr. Chair.
So did they violate at this point in time and the terms of reference that you have? Did NGCP violate any of your bidding procedures at the time?
At that time. Mr. Chair, no. The proof is that we entered into a concession agreement with them. And sorry, I'll step back, Mr. Chair. Now, once we go through a competitive bidding process, there's the bidding process itself, then a post-qualification, wherein we post-qualify the winning bidder based on their financial and technical. And the proof is now that we actually have an existing concession agreement with NGCP, and which is a result of my assumption that they passed the financial and technical qualifications at that time, Mr. Chair.
Yes, no. So this was 2007, and up to now, the NGCP was proclaimed the winning bidder by 3 Republic Acts. Republic Act 9136, the EPIRA law, which according to Transco, allowed the bidding process. Of course, the 9184, which the procurement law, which allowed technical partners such as Chinese or Malaysia, to be their partners, and the NGC franchise, or the Republic Act 9511, which granted the NGCP's franchise. Now, I'm just curious if which of these laws did we violate or did NGCP violate?
Please reply.
For at least on the PISAM side of the issue, Mr. Chair, we have the concession agreement, and we try to continue to implement the concession agreement despite certain non-compliances that we found, and that's why we have actually an arbitration proceedings with NGCP.
So very clear, no violation at that time of the bidding.
At the time of the bidding, Mr. Chair, for sure, we entered into a CA with them, a concession agreement, and
it was NGCP who proclaimed the winning bidder plus the Chinese technical partner.
As the technical partner.
Correct.
Mr. Chair, yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
DOE.
Sir, I just wanted to,
Yes, please.
if you allow, Mr. Chair.
Please.
There are 2 important documents. Now, there's the concession agreement, which was signed prior to the franchise, which was signed on kailan ba to? 2008.
2008.
February 2008. So that's the concession agreement, which is basically, in simple terms, subcontractor siya ng Transco. And there's provisions there on what they're supposed to deliver. It doesn't say that you cannot deliver once you have right-of-way issues. It just says, what are your obligations now? Following that, I think around the same year, Congress granted NGCP a franchise. Why was that very important? Because the franchise is a requirement in the concession agreement. But under the franchise, under the concession agreement, the the issue basically there, even though let's say there are violations, it is bound for arbitration kung may issue ang mga parties. You can't go to ERC or to the courts or kailangan unahin mo muna mag-arbit sila. Kaya that's why the parties here, NGCP, PISALM, and Transco, they're still under arbitration on some issues pa. So you cannot go you cannot subject them to legal proceeding kung hindi mo ma-exhaust yung option na yan. Now, when you go to the franchise, that's the power of Congress. The power of Congress, but also bound for the regulatory powers of ERC and DOE as a policymaker. Pero Mr. Chair, if there are violations under the franchise, it depends on what the issue is. Kasi for example, if you were talking about foreign ownership, it is required to be 60-40. Whether it was 60-40, it should have been 60-40 upon the concession agreement and the franchise and up to today and all the years in between that. So what are the laws that could be violated? There's Public Service Act, there's Foreign Investments Act na it's stated in the Foreign Investments Act. There's a constitution also. So marami pong pwedeng batas.
No, Yusek Sharon, I'm just asking the bidding process at that time.
Correct.
Yeah.
But what are the violations?
Not after. Yeah. I'll go through it.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you. Thank you. My second issue is who is the body and tasked to regulate the operations of NGCP? Any of the...
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
ERC?
Mr. Chair, ERC is the regulator. We do not regulate their operations to the extent that we run their business for them. But we do conduct, in a way, oversight, because if they want to spend for operations, they need to apply for approval with ERC. If they want to construct a new project, they need to apply for ERC. But I'm not sure if that's what the question meant.
No, I'm just trying to clarify matters. So it's actually ERC, not Transco, who is their regulator. Okay, very clear.
Tama po.
No? So in doing that, who approved the Philippine Grid Code and the Transmission Development Plan of 2020 to 2024?
ERC reply.
Thank you po. The grid code is an issuance of the ERC. The TDP is approved po by the DOE.
So in doing that, so ERC is mandated or has the mandate to approve TDP and the Philippine Grid Code, no?
Not the TDP, Mr. Chair. TDP po kay DOE po yun.
Can you explain, Ma'am Sharon, about the TDP?
The TDP is the Transmission Development Plan. Yun yung piniprepare ng NGCP saying that which projects will be completed at a certain target date, no? And then they plan it out. I think it's, for example, now TDP 2024 to 2040. So it's a span of long period. Ang process niyan, marami lang nangyari kasi previous to this administration. No? But ang process ideally would be prepared by NGCP in coordination with Transco, submitted to DOE for approval. Yun po yun, Mr. Chair.
Is it safe to say that NGCP's operation now is based on those TDPs as the Bible for their operations?
There's the TDP and then there's the grid code also, Mr.
The
Chair.
Power Grid Code. So kung yan ang mga basis natin, so ito yung report card. No? So together with Transco now, ito ngayon ang magiging basis kung ano ang grado ng NGCP for its performance. But can you really use a year-to-year basis as their grade? Because ang daming problema, right of way. No? NGCP, may I ask what are the various problems you have in terms of implementing this TDP?
Mr. Chair, may I just manifest something? Our report cards, strictly speaking, are the metrics that are approved by the ERC. This includes frequency of outages for the line length, etc. But going to your main question, Mr. Chair, what are the most common causes of delay in transmission project implementation? 3, that would be right of way, procurement,